Austin, so good to see you. Today we have 5 signs that you are ready to retire early. As many as 54% of young or early retirees in Gen X report that they are considering unretiring. Their reasons for returning to work are both economic and emotional, according to a recent study from F&G Annuities and Life. So before you retire early, you do need to consider whether you meet these milestones. First, are you debt free? Now, Austin, does that include your mortgage?
Yeah, I think a lot of folks differ on this topic, but generally we would like to see if, retiring early is a goal, not necessarily be mortgage free, but think things like definitely no credit card debt in
Right.
place. We would love to see, car loans paid off, things like perhaps even home equity lines paid off, right? All high interest debt we want to eliminate. Now, if we're carrying a mortgage, right, sub 4.5% or something like that, we're not too concerned about that if our goal is to retire early.
Right, good point. All right, next, if you are going to retire early, you will not want to tap your retirement accounts just yet because you'll be penalized. So, having multiple income sources becomes even more important.
Yeah, this is really, really important because it can be costly, right, to make this mistake. Although we're in retirement, right, officially, if we're kind of doing the early retirement thing, we know that a lot of traditional retirement accounts per se have that magic number of 59 and a half, right? So we
Right.
can't access that traditional tax deferred bucket, right, until we're 59 and a half. Think things like a 401k or traditional IRA. And then on the left-hand side, lower left here, we see the taxable bucket, right? So if early retirement is on the horizon and something that you want to achieve, we need to be planning for it and saving in the appropriate tax qualification. So
Right.
you would want to be building up things like your brokerage account, right? Non-IRA assets that you can access prior to 59 and a half.
Right. Really good point. When you get there, though, and when you are beyond 59 and a half, you will also want really robust retirement accounts, right? So before retiring, that means taking advantage of those catch up contributions.
Yeah, we know that the IRS sets stipulations, right? That once we reach that magic age of 50, we can begin contributing to our catch-up contributions. And of course, as we age, those catch-up contributions even get more and more in our early 60s. So it's one of those things we want to be sure we're taking advantage of because, again, we know prior to 59 and a half, we're going to need non-IRA type of assets to be able to draw on. But when we hit that magic number, we do want to have still strong retirement savings. And for most people, that most common vehicle would be a 401k or IRA.
Mhm. All right, number 4 may be the trickiest. Make sure you have a plan and savings for healthcare, which, as we know, can be incredibly expensive. So, what are a few options?
Yeah, I think a few that come to mind right off the cuff would be something like the marketplace, right? The ACA or perhaps Cobra. But more importantly, I think is thinking how to fund healthcare in kind of those retirement years. And for vast majority of people, if you have access, the best tool out there is going to be your health savings account. So we need a high deductible health plan to have access to one of these. But you get the tax deduction when you make contributions, right? All of the growth is tax free. And of course, if it's used to fund healthcare expenses, all qualified withdrawals are tax free as well. So it's really a triple tax benefit. Again, if early retirement is something you desire, we need to be planning today for it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that was kind of the financial component. Let's talk about the emotional component because I was surprised to learn more than 40% of early retirees said that they missed the challenge and stimulation of work in their daily lives. That's again according to F&G Annuities. So before you retire early, know how you're going to create that challenge outside the workplace, including strong social connections, daily structure, and a sense of purpose.
Yeah, Aaron, I really think we can all, in some form or fashion, relate to this statement, right? I mean, we spend so much of our days and perhaps sometimes nights, right, working, and it
Right.
really becomes an integral part of our lives, right? And we here at Patriot Wealth spend so much time with clients talking about, planning for, thinking about, expending energy on, kind of, hey, how do we leave the workforce, right? But we need to spend an equal amount of energy and thought and effort in thinking about what are we retiring to, right? How are we going to find that connection? How are we going to spend our days? How are we going to maintain that purpose in life? Because if we don't have it, I think it's a bigger void than many folks realize.
Yeah. No, well said. I know you live in this world, Austin, so I know you see it regularly, but it is really interesting to learn how difficult that transition can be for people. So, again, getting all these parts together for an early retirement is going to be unique. Solving that puzzle is going to be different for everybody, but the key is start planning now for it. So, Austin, if somebody would like to sit down with you, plan their early retirement, see if they are on track, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Our phone number is 919-322-4113, or you can send us an email at info@patriotwealthnc.com.
Great. Austin, thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.